Recall toys? But I teach kids about the beauty of pregnancy.
Well, many of us are pulled off the shelves unfairly. Like me.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 infamous toys that were recalled.
It is just the latest scare that has many parents wondering what's safe, and it comes at the worst possible time for shoppers and retailers.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most dangerous toys that were, for one reason or another, yanked off store shelves and were asked to be returned if purchased. Do you own any of these recalled relics? Let us know in the comments below. Number 20. Mini-Hammocks. These hammocks are the opposite of relaxing. Sure, at first glance, there's nothing inherently wrong with bite-sized canopies for kids, but just because something's smaller doesn't make it kid-friendly.
Sadly, a lot of parents don't know about the dangers or even the recall, and some say it's the companies behind these products that are to blame, that they're not doing enough to warn parents.
As it turns out, the nature of mini-hammocks, which is that they come without spreader bars, make them incredibly prone to twisting and tangling, oftentimes with the kids still inside. Given all that, it's not too shocking to hear there are several reports of mini-hammocks causing injuries or worse. That hasn't stopped several different canopy lines from hitting the shelves though, and like clockwork, most of them end up on the wrong side of a recall scandal. Lounging just isn't worth the risk.
To keep your baby safe, the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that babies be put to bed only in products that meet federal safety requirements for infant sleep, like a bassinet, a crib, or a play yard.
Number 19. The Alien Wiggle Toy. If the trading standard officers are to be believed, these extraterrestrials do not come in peace.
Please, don't hurt me.
Don't be afraid.
Several safety tests concluded that a sample of the inner gel from one of the aliens contained high traces of dangerous bacteria, including the likes of E. coli. For what it's worth, the manufacturer pushed back on that claim and even conducted their own exams to determine if it was a fluke or not. They also pointed out that it would take quite a bit of force to pierce the outer shell in the first place. Despite either point, the damage was done by then. News of the safety hazard was already out there, and parents were told to return the toys en masse. Number 18. Barbie and Tanner. Apparently, life in plastic isn't always fantastic. Although, that's not really Barbie's fault. In this toy line, she was simply supposed to take care of her dog, Tanner. That meant feeding him, petting him, and yes, even picking up his droppings. However, Barbie's pooper scooper accessory included a magnet that could easily be swallowed by unsuspecting children because it could come loose. Fearing the worst, manufacturer Mattel ordered a mass recall of Barbie and Tanner's early models. However, that recall is nothing compared to the fiasco of Rollerblade Barbie.
Rollerblade Barbie, I skate, you skate, we both got clothes that look great. But Rollerblade Barbie, only your skates quicker and flash.
Against that skating fire hazard, a magnet is getting off relatively easy. Number 17. Battlestar Galactica Missile Toys. This just goes to show that there are no kind of rules or regulations that can account for everything. Mattel's line of Battlestar Galactica toys successfully passed every single safety check on its way to store shelves.
Mattel introduces the Battlestar Galactica collection. You can imagine the Viper launch station against the evil Cylons.
And yet, their small plastic missiles still caused several aspirations and at least one fatality. In response, Mattel voluntarily issued a withdrawal on the missiles of 4 products: Colonel Viper, Colonel Scarab, Colonel Stellar Probe, and Cylon Raider.
And from your own Colonial Viper launch station, you can attack Cylon targets with special Viper missiles that really fly.
In return, the original buyers got a free-of-charge Hot Wheels car as an apology. Later, the Battlestar Galactica toys were redesigned altogether, ensuring that their missiles would never fire again. Number 16. I Heart Guts Uterus Plush. Yep, you heard that right. They really made a stuffed pillow in the shape of this organ. They marketed it to kids and everything.
Uterus, you know what I love most about this uterus is it's soft, it's fluffy, it's smiling. Even if yours is not smiling, ours is. Maybe she'll cheer you up.
As expected, the Uterus Plush was eventually pulled out of circulation, but not because of highly questionable theming. Instead, its anatomically correct ovaries were deemed a choking hazard for young children. Technically, you can still buy one on the I Heart Guts website.
You could probably do a lot of really ridiculous things with our uterus, but mainly she likes to tell you about how awesome the womb is.
But now, alongside teaching kids about their body, it's also suggested as a gift for an older audience. The most ironic part of this whole thing is that ovaries have their own plush for sale, and they've never been recalled. Number 15. Polly Pocket's Quick Click line. Apparently, toymaker Mattel never heard the saying, "If it ain't broke, don't fix it." The Polly Pocket brand hit a few speed bumps in the early 2000s, but nothing to warrant how aggressively they pushed the new and improved Quick Click line.
Shake my teeth, Polly. Try this. And a snap. Quick Click, Polly's new trick. Loaded up with clothes that stick. Quick Click.
Instead of rubber accessories, the updated dolls used magnetized plastic clothing. Without even broaching the obvious choking hazard, the core issue was the potential for harm if a kid swallowed more than one magnet at a time.
Load it up. Just like that, front to back. It's a snap. What a scene. New Polly Pocket Quick Click Pollywood Limousine Car.
The risk was so great that by 2006, Mattel was forced to recall around 4.4 million Polly Pocket playsets. They've removed magnets ever since, and that's probably for the best. Number 14. Pokémon Burger King Toys. At the height of Pokemania in the 90s, not even fast food joints could escape the hype. As part of a marketing blitz for the franchise's first movie, Burger King packaged 57 different Pokémon toys inside their kids' meals.
Now inside every Burger King Big Kids meal you buy, your kids not only get more of the great tasting food they love, they get Pokémon toys and limited edition trading cards from Pokémon the first movie.
However, that turned out to be a grave error when the plastic Pokeballs turned out to be a major suffocation hazard. Burger King was left the only one trying to catch them all when they issued a recall of the 25 million sold containers.
Now, Burger King says children under 3 are the ones that run the highest risk of suffocation. They're asking parents to either throw away the balls or return them to any Burger King for a free order of fries.
Since so many of them were trashed or destroyed, the Pokemon toy has oddly become more of a collector's item now than they were back then. Number 13. Inflatable baby floats. Infants can't swim, and neither can these floaties. The inflatables were supposed to act as something of a life raft for small children.
With Otaroo, babies can make a gentle transition from mommy's tummy to their warm bath to finally the pool. Otaroo is designed with new parents and babies in mind.
But no matter what company it comes from, the track record doesn't inspire much confidence. Otaroo's model was prone to air leaks, causing a very high drowning risk even at max capacity.
The reason? Because the company says the flotation device can actually leak air and deflate while a child's using it, posing a risk of drowning.
AQUA Leisure also threw their floaty in the ring, but didn't fare much better. At the end of the day, both companies were forced to suspend their inflatables. It seems to have worked since, miraculously, neither have reported any deaths. But still, odds are these floats won't hit the water again anytime soon. Number 12. Buckyballs. The only word to accurately describe what happened here is messy. At first, the magnetic Buckyballs were just another trendy desk item. But despite the magnet's very clear marketing towards teenagers and up, several small children ended up accidentally swallowing them. It sparked a highly publicized legal battle about whether Buckyballs could be held liable for the misuse of their product.
We don't agree that a recall is necessary.
Zucker says Buckyballs are not defective and don't require a ban. He says it's an office toy, clearly not intended or marketed for children.
But no matter the verdict, the court of public opinion had already spoken. Several retailers stopped selling Buckyballs, all but forcing the toy company to issue an official recall. The remaining stock was sold off at a very heavy discount, and eventually, the company dissolved for good. Number 11. Sarge Car. A movie like Cars basically makes its own merchandise.
Good to see you, soldier. Come on by Sarge's surplus hut for all your government surplus needs.
And it did, for about a year. But in 2007, they had to shift into reverse when a line of Sarge cars came back with unacceptable levels of lead. A contracted manufacturer allegedly used lead paint during a time period that included the brand's tight deadlines. Despite the supposedly small sample size, toy company Mattel had no choice but to issue a callback on almost 500,000 Sarge cars.
But you do need a paint job, man. Ramon will paint you up right.
On the bright side, there's a whole lot of other Sarge merchandise on shelves these days, and it's the kind that probably won't give you lead poisoning. Number 10. CSI Fingerprint Examination Kit. Ironically, this toy set almost became its own crime scene. The crime scene investigation kit included everything a kid needed to dust for fingerprints, including all sorts of vials and powder. However, it also featured one very important ingredient that wasn't listed on the back of the box: asbestos, and a lot of it.
We have the syrup, 70 milliliter. That's still some in there. This back CSI crime scene.
The fingerprint reading powder had at least 2 different kinds of noxious fibers, neither of which was healthy to ingest even once. Following this revelation, the toy set was recalled in the state of Connecticut, with the rest of the nation following after. Given the context, it's probably for the best that this toy stays lost for good.
As always, I value your opinion, but I'm confident in our decision to move forward.
Number 9. Sky Dancers. With a string, some wings, and a whole lot of advertising, these flying fairy-like dolls soared all the way to fame, and later, utter infamy. See, despite their intuitive design, the original line of Sky Dancers failed to account for the dangers of high-speed flying objects.
Sky Dancers! They're flying! Fly for me, just for me, Sky Dancers dance for me.
The dolls were blamed for more than 100 reported injuries, with some even requiring stitches. It took 6 years of scandal and pushback, but eventually the spinning toys were called back. That didn't stop the brand from selling, though.
Pull the magic key and watch them dance and light up the sky. She looks like a dancing star.
Instead, new lines were produced with improved safety precautions. A few relaunches and an animated series later, Sky Dancers have kept twirling on with great success. Number 8. MAGNETIX. Another day, another magnet toy gone wrong. Here, it's MAGNETIX. They were small, they were multicolored, and they stuck together.
Magnetics! You can make it with magnetics, you can move it with magnetics. The magic of magnetics is the motion of magnetics.
Basically, every danger of a magnet all rolled into one. During their time on shelves, they caused all sorts of injuries ranging from intestinal issues all the way to death. Following several serious injuries, the Consumer Product Safety Commission ordered a recall on upwards of 4 million MAGNETIX sets.
Magnetics! All new, let's see what you can do. Magnetics! The totally new extenders, flexors, curves, connectors, and lights. The magic of magnetics is the power of magnetics. Let's see what you can do.
We wouldn't be crossing our fingers for a relaunch either. In 2017, the CPSC instilled a new safety standards on magnetic toys to prevent something as dangerous as magnetics from ever coming out again. Number 7. Cabbage Patch SNACKTIME Kids. There were a lot of these dolls under the Christmas tree in 1996. After all, their novel ability to eat certain plastic foods made them a must-buy during the holiday season.
My Cabbage Patch SNACKTIME kid, she really loves to snack. Wow, she really chews!
As kids soon learned, the issue was that these Cabbage Patch dolls often ate more than their share, namely, kids' hair and fingers. The SNACKTIME kids were the cause for all sorts of painful incidents, and by January 1997, they were completely taken off the market.
Now, this is in response to reports nationwide that children were getting their hair and their fingers caught in the mouth of the SNACKTIME Cabbage Patch Kid doll.
For as quickly as they sold, they were gone just as fast. Chances are the SNACKTIME dolls won't be munching on anything ever again. Number 6. Fidget Spinners. Few trends have ever caught on quite like fidget spinners, and it's clear to see why. They're deceptively simple, highly irresistible, and easy to produce.
Busy times at Shenanigans in Roland Park.
The supply is just not meeting the demand.
And when there is a supply of fidget spinners, it doesn't last long.
But its unprecedented surge in popularity also led to a few cut corners. In the rush to meet the demand, 2 models of fidget spinners shipped with dangerously high levels of lead.
2 of the products tested with high levels of lead. 1 contained levels reaching 33,000 parts per million. That's 300 times higher than the legal limit for children's products.
For what it's worth, retailer Target actually pulled the plug before anyone could even write up an official complaint. Either way, the fact of the matter is you won't be finding those fidget spinners on Target shelves anymore. Considering the dangers involved, that's probably for the best. Number 5. AQUA dots, aka BINDEEZ. Small, multicolored beads for children sounds like a walking recall waiting to happen. As expected, the AQUA dots were eventually banned, but not for the reason you'd expect.
What can you dot, then spray for fun that stays?
AQUA dot!
The harm wasn't swallowing the beads, it was digesting the sedative drug they were laced with. After 2 kids fell ill in Australia, reports surfaced that AQUA dots use a cheaper, acid-like plastic as opposed to the non-toxic industry standard.
The Consumer Product Safety Commission recalled 4.2 million AQUA dots because the Chinese factory that made them used a toxic chemical.
While none of the affected children faced long-term symptoms, the incident was still considered one of the most serious recalls the Consumer Product Safety Commission had ever seen. AQUA dots has rebranded several times and now makes beads that are safe for the whole family. Number 4. CLACKERS. Clackers and their distinctive noise practically defined recess in the 60s and 70s. But surprisingly, a lot can go wrong with 2 balls and a rope. For one, the casings were known to break, often sending pieces flying in all directions. But even if they didn't, clackers also moved fast enough to cause serious harm to anyone who got too close. No matter how they played, most kids who picked up clackers ended up regretting it. In fact, there were so many accidents, the US courts prohibited any further shipments of clackers in the mid-70s. You know you've messed up when your toy isn't just recalled, it's outright banned. However, there have been redesigned revivals released in later decades and in other nations.
Yeah, and now, punch it!
Number 3. Hoverboards. Electric scooters got you where you needed to go and made sure you looked cool while doing it. But as early as 2015, it was clear that hoverboards were exploding. Oh, we don't mean in popularity. We mean the batteries were overheating and quite literally making the self-balancing scooter go boom. It wasn't just one singular brand of hoverboards either. The faulty battery packs forced a whopping 8 different manufacturers to pull their product, adding up to around 500,000 scheduled withdrawals.
After nearly 100 incidents across the country, safety officials are warning the lithium battery packs in the scooters can overheat, catch fire, or explode.
Later, in 2016, new hoverboards hit the market with all new safety precautions, but even still, they haven't all stopped exploding just yet. Number 2. The Easy Bake Oven. Despite its name, there's nothing easy about baking with this toy oven.
Look who's coming to make it great. Yeah, we're making something new with Easy Bake, really baking. I can bake a real cake.
When the 2006 version hit shelves, manufacturer Hasbro became inundated with reports of kids getting their fingers caught in the door. Sometimes while the oven was still on, Hasbro quickly recalled the product, made some adjustments, and shipped out replacements.
These firefighters are trying to remove a recalled Easy Bake oven that is stuck on her hand.
I was so scared.
Except the new Easy Bakes were just as bad, if not worse than the original. After nearly 250 incidents and counting, Hasbro halted sales for a second time. They ended up resolving the issue, but only after calling back almost 1 million toy ovens. And yet, against all odds, the Easy Bake oven is still around today.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Lawn darts. This one hit the bullseye in all the wrong ways.
The lawn dart game that Snow had purchased was supposed to be played this way. The darts tossed underhand into plastic rings on the grass.
To prove it, if you live in the United States or Canada, you couldn't legally buy a set of lawn darts even if you wanted to. Trust us, that's a good thing. The pointy-tipped lawn game has earned a reputation as one of the most dangerous household toys ever sold. That's no exaggeration. It's been blamed for thousands upon thousands of accidents over the years. A number that's absurd deserves an equally absurd punishment. So instead of just recalling them, long darts were outright banned from the US and Canada. There's plenty of safer knockoffs on the market now anyways.
Take aim with Nerf darts. 4 long flying ballistic missiles you hurl at the target. Yeah, darts. Comes complete with 4 darts and 2 targets.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.